Oh Dreamcast, I wish I could bring you with me. Oh wait, we can! Yeah, it's the time for a package from China. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. I am super excited today because I can review and just test out this Sega portable device. No, nobody has sent this in for free to review. I bought it from my own money. And the reason I did this simply because I'm such a big fan of the Sega Dreamcast even now in 2021. I need to be admitting something to you guys. Back in the day, when the PlayStation 2 and Sega Dreamcast was released, I didn't own the Sega Dreamcast from the release. Simply because I wouldn't say wasn't interested, I picked up a PlayStation 2 because PlayStation 1 was my previous console. And I can say that leaving and cheating on Sega was not a good feeling. So after some couple of years having the Sega Dreamcast back in my collection, I was completely blown away about what it could do. I think it was earlier released than the PlayStation 2 and it had so much potential when it comes to games and so much great things you can do even with some internet playing. But nevertheless, we're going to not talk about that. What we're going to talk about is this portable and how good it is. Okay, but first, what are we going to get? When opening up, there's not a lot to talk about. The only thing that we're going to get is a lot of kinky bubble wrap and the Sega Dreamcast portable. That's it. And damn, this thing is freaking heavy. But still, it's comfortable. But we're going to talk about this later in the video. So besides the Sega Dreamcast portable, we're going to get the power supply because we need to charge it. This is not your typical 12-volt power supply. No, not at all. This is something different, and of course, a 32GB high quality SD card because that we're going to need. The adapter itself is quite a weird voltage. I did check it out with my PlayStation 2 portable. The other one was pretty damn horrible, but this one is not that bad. Okay, for my region, I'm going to need this plug. Take consideration that you need to buy it separately. Plugging in the cable is a little bit difficult, but when it's in, it's in. The LED over there gives the indication how good the batteries are, but in the end, if you want to charge it, it will give you a green LED when it's ready. When powering on, you're going to get this tiny LED over here that gives an indication how full the batteries are. Red for empty, yellow for let's say 50% and green for 100%. And the SD card, it's super easy, plug and play, add your games and let's go. You can expand your memory with a bigger SD card, but take consideration that loading times will be way longer when booting up the system with GDEMU. A lot of you are curious, how good is the quality of the device itself? Take into consideration these are custom made products. So it feels quite sturdy, so that was my first impression. When playing around with it for some time, I got some notice that the two shells clamped together are fitting very good. But you can still having some minor movements with the two shells when playing and moving it around. I think it's a good construction, but it can be better in many ways. But then overall, the design itself, it's a personal taste. I personally love it. But let's talk about the ventilation. Ventilation did a very nice job. Around the system itself, you can see all the ventilation holes here and there for cooling the device, to getting fresh air in, and also the heat from the LCD can be moved away very easily. So where a lot of these devices had issues with heating up because there are no ways to basically lose the heat, the Sega Dreamcast portable, I played a lot with it and there is no problem whatsoever. Here at the back you can see this ventilation. They are using these fans, they are very silent. I'll power it on and give you a quick example. What I already mentioned is that when you're looking over here, we're going to get two tiny parkers that basically putting both shells together. So the construction wise, they can improve it here and there. With the PlayStation 2 we had two gigantic screws that hold the two shells together, and the tiny perkers were only for supporting it. So in my opinion, they can improve it the build quality and overall. But holding it in my hand, it feels quite heavy. Of course, it isn't Dreamcast in your hand, but I like it. It feels very comfortable, so I can see myself playing for a couple of hours with this thing. So when you're looking at the weight, let's put it on the weight scale. You can see that it's not very light. In total we're going to get 759 of grams that this freaking thing weighs. So you're going to get a beefcake arm for playing with this device. The paint job itself is not super bad. You can see there are some minor flaws in the casing itself. When I'm going to get you a really good up close view, you can see them over there with the joystick. But yeah, that's what you're going to get, I guess, with custom made devices. But let's take a close look at the controls. How are these playing? How is the experience? And how are they comparing with the original controllers? Because that is always the question with these custom devices. So in overall, the Sega Dreamcast controller is not one of my favorite ones. For many reasons. The D-pad, in my opinion, is okay. The analog stick was not my favorite one, but the A, B, X and Y are feeling pretty good. And not to forget, the VMU. And yep, it's represented in the Sega Dreamcast Portable. I think that's one of these awesome features that they just put it in. Come on, the VMU is something that is more like making the Dreamcast special even now in 2021. And it works like a charm. You will have like this high-pitched noise because it doesn't have a battery built in, but you don't need it so far, I know. It works like a charm. I saved some games and it's pretty cool to see these tiny decals in your portable device, like with the controller back in the day. But okay, let's take a close look at the controls. So when holding it, you can see that the form factor is completely different with the Sega Dreamcast Portable. In my opinion, it's too slim. And when you're playing the controller, it's okay. I had a good experience with it. A fun fact is, when you're looking at the Portable, here we're going to get some big differences. The positions of the buttons haven't been changed out. So they are similar to the controller. But when you're looking at the side, like over the left side, they did some changes. To begin with the D-pad and the analog stick. The D-pad, in my opinion, it feels less, let's say, sturdy on the Dreamcast Portable. And when playing some Marvelous Capcom, a fighting game, oh man, I must say that I really enjoyed playing this game on the D-pad, because in overall the Sega Dreamcast D-pad, I don't hate it at all. I personally really love it. It's not the best D-pad, but now with this minor change, all my moves come out instantly, and you will have a great experience with fighting games. Another thing they changed out is the way the grip of the joystick is. They were like sanded it off, like giving it a smooth surface. And I don't like it at all because it's really smooth. Another thing that I do like is the trigger buttons. Yeah, so we don't have like the trigger buttons, more like membrane buttons that we had like with the first generation consoles, like a PlayStation 1 and 2. And what I really like about it, it makes it way more comfortable when you're playing games like Vigilante 8. And I can say the experience is even better than with the original controller. But when you're comparing it with the Sega Dreamcast controller, I would say that the overall experience with the Portable is not bad at all. Personally, I even prefer the Sega Dreamcast Portable over the original controller because it's very thick, at least very comfortable in my hand, and playing the games was a very awesome and good experience. And the same goes for the buttons. There is no, let's say, bad thing I can say about it. But how is it with the audio? The audio itself is okay. And the reason I'm saying okay, we're going to get stereo, two speakers of 0.5 watts. So that's not a lot. And when you're cranking them up all the way up, let's say up to the 50, it sounds okay. But we're going to crank it up to the 80% volume. Ooh, they don't like that. Here, you have a quick sample. How are they going to sound? There is no bass or low at all. Of course we're going to get like not a lot of watts with these speakers. Mid and high are here, but they sound a little bit too pitchy sometimes with some games. So with this premium custom built Dreamcast Portable, we're going to get a beautiful IPS display. The IPS panel gives us just the perfect view angle, and that is what I really like. I'm missing out with a lot of handhelds nowadays. But okay, it has a resolution of 8 on by 480, and yep, it's a widescreen panel. I personally love to play games widescreen, but if you don't want this, there is an option to put it back in the 4:3 aspect ratio. We're having the control button over here at the right side. We can enter the menu. So I'll give you a quick shot from this side. You can very easily change out the volume control I've shown you before. But when you want to change out the aspect ratio and you don't like this, press the side button. Like with the television, you can adjust a lot of things like brightness, colors, but also in this case we can change it back to the original aspect ratio. One of the key features that I really love about this GDEMU edition. So for the people who like to play it like this, it's an option and we can do it very easy like that. But how does it work? Very simple. When you have added the games, you can put them on the SD card. But let's boot it up without the SD card. When you're going to do this, it's going to boot straight into the original menu. Here we can change out like memory saves. We can configure the system. Everything can do with the original Dreamcast. And especially, it's very important if you need to make some extra space on your memory card. You can do it very easily like this. And when you have set up your GDEMU SD card, you just plug it in, turn it on, and automatically boot into the GDEMU menu where you can play your games super easy and super fast. Take consideration how bigger the card, how more games, how longer the load times will be. But I also want to quickly point out that there is also a Dream Shell edition. I wanted to review them both, but that is not possible because the GDEMU, it was the first release version, and of course I wanted to show the best here on the channel because the Dream Shell does have some compatibility issues when it comes to games and the Dreamcast. So in the next part, let's try some Sega Dreamcast games. I'll see how they're running and playing on the portable Me machine. Okay, so up front, I will just need to say that some of you will be disappointed with this peek inside or minor teardown. The reason why, because taking it open is super easy. We only need to remove 4 tiny Parkers. And that's what we're going to do in this video. And I'll show you how it looks in the inside. And no, the cake is not a lie, because it is actually a Dreamcast slimmed down inside this machine. But the problem is with this, let's say this Dreamcast portable, it has been put together on this method that I cannot open it up fully. And if I'm going to do this, I need to completely destroy the machine itself, because everything has been glued and partially screwed. So I just want to lift up the top cover and I can barely move it, simply because all the cables are so short, very tiny and fragile. So I need to be very gentle opening it. And you can see, like, I cannot even open it enough to show you the inside. So we're going to move it from the side, open it up, grab my camera and show you how it looks in the inside. So this may be the only way I can basically show it. There was a loose part, And now I found it over here. I think more like a voltage regulator. That is over there. That is just loose. It didn't even glue it. So that is not a good thing. So we need to fix this in the future. Here you can see like a quick peek inside. I'll give you a close-up view. Alright, so let's open it up very gentle. So at the right side you can see there, over there they have glued the mainboard through the casing itself. We're having the backup battery. That's a little bit horrible, you need to re-solder it if you need to replace it. And over there we're only going to get one screw. So it's not going to be a hassle. Maybe in the future I will more like a complete teardown. But for now, this is what we're going to do. And the part that was getting over here was the transformer that was getting really hot. So the batteries over there, 4 big bad boys, giving you around to play down 4 hours. But this product, this over here, this is loose, so I need to re-glue it or do something about that. Really annoying. We're in peak and the other side, we're having the PCB for the monitor, the VMU, and you cannot swap them out because they glued it over here. Then a quick look over the main board. See, all the cables, man, are so fragile. But overall they are using an original controller in the inside so far I can see. But who is this Sega Dreamcast portable for? I think it's for the people who just want to have something unique and want to have real hardware in their hands. Because when it comes to emulation, there are so many ways you can play Dreamcast nowadays. And with emulation, there are some really good options out there and some are not very expensive. You can get yourself a cheap mobile phone nowadays that even runs with Dream very well. Of course, it depends how much money you're going to spend on it. Yeah, that is all up to you, but it is an option. Touch controls, not the biggest fan of it, but if you're used to it, it's a way to play. Yeah, of course you can get yourself a controller with a holder. These things are like around €50. You click it in, configure the Bluetooth and you're ready to go. And there are so many options when it comes to these controllers. And it's a great way to play and very low budget. But if you want to have like more an handheld with physical buttons, and MoQ i7S is one of these many ways to go to, and it can even push up to even full HD. Yep, the Dreamcast looked even better on emulation on full HD on the MoQ i7S. Having physical buttons gives you a completely new way to play. It's absolutely not the same like in Sega Dreamcast portable or an original controller, because the controls are completely different. The D-pad is, I like it, but it's more like this clickish D-pad. And some people, I know they hate it. So in overall, the official D-pad is way better than this thing from a MoQ i7S. And for half the price, you can basically buy a MoQ i7S and play even more than only Sega Dreamcast. But the thing is, it's emulation. And there we're going to get the biggest difference. But it's something you need to decide for yourself how you want to play. Because the MoQ i7S is a beautiful device. It has superb audio, even better from the Sega portable. It sounds amazing. So final thoughts time. Let's talk about pros and cons. So to begin with, this thing is a Dreamcast portable prototype. I am seriously one of the first people who received this product. And I'm curious, what are they going to change out in the future? We have seen in this video, there are a lot of improvement points, but there are also a lot of positive things. I had overall a very positive experience with this. It was just a blast to the past playing these games, and the controls are fine. It felt quite comfortable to play for a very long time, and I played it for at least 2 hours straight. Let's be a little bit negative and let's talk about the cons. What do they need to improve? So first of all, what I find a little bit of a bummer, that the way how they placed some parts in the casing. They need to improve the casing assembly itself, like the places too that have a couple of more screws, it feels more sturdy. Yeah, it's super fragile, so if you drop it, it will break instantly. The case is made of kind of plastic, but it's not very thick. And overall, memory card replacement is going to be a really pain in the ass. And not to forget, AV out support with 2-player would be a great addition to the system. But in my opinion, not a must-have. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? But okay guys, this was my review of the Dreamcast Portable. And again, it's a prototype, so in the future I think we can see some improvements here and there on the system. It's a blast reviewing this product here on the channel. I'm a big Sega Dreamcast fan and having this in the collection is just really epic. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of the Sega Dreamcast Portable, or are just preferring having some emulation. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.